You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Law, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the Bond Financing Committee members of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for this Friday, September 6th, 2024. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. The committee members have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meetings and are free, of course, to ask questions at any time. I will note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 4:30 p.m. yesterday. I will note that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda item, and we do not have any members of the public in attendance to provide comments. At this time, I will ask the committee members whether anyone has a potential conflict of interest with respect to today's agenda item. Hearing none, I'll note for the record that there are no conflicts. I will now ask Miyoko Okubo to present today's agenda item, which relates to the preliminary actions in connection with the issuance of state sales tax revenue bonds and/or state personal income tax revenue bonds. Miyoko, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Multiple Project Act related Appropriations Act, the New York State Sales Tax Revenue Bond Program Statute, and the New York State Personal Income Tax Revenue Program Statute, collectively known as the Project Act, authorize ESD to assist in financing certain programs and projects, and to refund bonds previously issued by state entities, including ESD. ESD intends to issue one or more series or subseries of state-supported, tax-exempt, and/or taxable bonds. The bonds will have fixed interest rates and will be issued in an amount not to exceed $1.4 billion, including issuance costs. The bond proceeds are expected to be used to fund projects and pay ESD's costs and expenses incurred in connection with the issuance of the bond. In addition, Proceeds of the bonds may be used to refund bonds previously issued by ESD and or other state issuers. Public Authorities Law requires the approval of the New York State Public Authorities Control Board, commonly known as the PACB, for the acquisition, construction, or financing of any project proposed by ESD. In order to move forward with this transaction, the ESD Bond Financing Committee is being asked to approve the submission of a PACB application for the proposed sale and issuance of one or more series or sub-series of bonds. Details of the PACB application can be found in the board materials. Committee is also being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into legal services contract with two firms, Harris Beach PLLC and Hardwick Law Firm LLC, in connection with the bond issuance. Both law firms were selected from ESD's pre-qualified list as having bond financing expertise and experience working on state bond issuances. The appointment of both law firms also represents an equitable distribution of legal work among ESD's rotating slate of bond firms, including minority and women-owned business enterprise law firms. These law firms will advise ESD on securities, taxes, and other related legal matters in connection with the issuance and sale of the bonds. ESD uses experienced bond counsel on all of its bond issues. These legal services will be funded from the bond proceeds as a cost of issuance. Thank you.
Thank you, Miyoko. Okay, I am going to make a motion to approve this. I see Benson wants to second it. Are there any questions for any of the committee members or comments?
Hey, it's Kevin in Albany, Kevin Eunice. Just a question about, remind me of the next steps. So it's PACB consideration and presumably with approval, and then it's tendering of the bonds in the market?
Yeah, then we go out to, we put the structure together and we price it and then we close it. There'll be a subsequent meeting of this committee, is that correct? Yes. Yeah, so on Thursday, we'll meet again to authorize the actual transaction after the PACB authorization. And then
And then you go to market, and after that, any further approvals, or is that it?
no, you designate us to execute the transaction. So that's it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep, you bet.
Any other questions? As a reminder, we do not have any comments from the public on this motion. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion is approved. Does any committee member have any other business they'd like to raise at this point? Being there's no further business, I will move that we adjourn. Kevin Eunice seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, staff, for pulling this together.
Thank you.
Thanks, I'll see you.
Okay.